The Nuremberg Trials are a really important example of justice after World War II. From 1945 to 1949, the city of Nuremberg in Germany held a series of trials. These trials were meant to make the leaders of Nazi Germany take responsibility for their terrible actions. These trials were a big turning point in history. For the first time ever, international law was used to put people on trial for war crimes, crimes against peace, and crimes against humanity. The awful things the Nazis did shocked everyone. The Holocaust, a systematic killing of specific groups of people, led to the deaths of millions. This included Jewish people, Roma people, LGBTQ+ people, and others the Nazis didn't like. Besides the Holocaust, the Nazi war machine caused a lot of damage across Europe. Millions died in the war, and many more suffered while the Nazis controlled their countries. These terrible crimes needed a new kind of response. The Allied powers, led by the United States, Great Britain, the Soviet Union, and France, wanted to make sure something like this never happened again. They decided to create a special court called the International Military Tribunal. This court would hold a public trial for the most important Nazi leaders. The Nuremberg Trials started on November 20th, 1945, with 24 people on trial. This included important people in the Nazi Party, military leaders, and people who helped plan and carry out the Holocaust. The whole world watched as evidence of terrible crimes was shown. The trials reminded everyone how much evil people can do and how important it is to have international justice. The people on trial at Nuremberg were the top leaders of the Nazi regime. Some of them were Hermann Göring, Hitler's second-in-command and head of the Air Force, Rudolf Hess, Hitler's deputy, Joachim von Ribbentrop, in charge of foreign affairs, and Julius Streicher, who published a newspaper that was very hateful towards Jewish people. Each person faced a lot of charges, including crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. Crimes against peace meant planning or starting a war of aggression. The prosecution said that the Nazi leaders had planned to take over Europe, breaking international agreements and starting a world war. War crimes included breaking the rules of war, like hurting or killing prisoners of war, killing hostages, and destroying cities and towns for no reason. Crimes against humanity were the newest and most serious type of crime. These crimes included murder, extermination, enslavement, deportation, and other cruel acts against regular people before or during the war. The prosecution carefully showed all the terrible things that happened during the Holocaust. They presented evidence of mass shootings, gas chambers, and the organized persecution of Jewish people and other groups. The people on trial used different ways to defend themselves. Some said they were just following orders and had no choice. Others said they didn't know about everything the Nazis were doing. Some tried to blame other people on trial, or even said the Allied powers had also committed war crimes. After months of people talking in court, the International Military Tribunal gave its decisions on September 30th and October 1st, 1946. 12 people were sentenced to death by hanging, including Göring, Ribbentrop, and Streicher. 3, including Hess, were sent to prison for life. 4 others were sent to prison for 10 to 20 years. 3 people were found not guilty. Göring killed himself in his cell the night before he was supposed to be executed. The Nuremberg trials were very important for international law and human rights. They showed that individuals could be punished for international crimes, even if they were important government officials, or if their actions were legal in their own country. The trials also showed that any country could put people on trial for the most serious international crimes. The Nuremberg principles, which are rules based on the trials, are still a very important part of international criminal law. These principles explain what crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity are. They also say that people can't avoid responsibility by saying they were just following orders. The Nuremberg trials were also very important for showing the world exactly what happened during the Holocaust. The evidence presented, like stories from survivors, official documents, and photographs, helped create a permanent record of Nazi crimes. This information has been very important in fighting people who say the Holocaust didn't happen and in making sure we remember what happened. The Nuremberg trials still affect the world today. They led to the creation of the International Criminal Court, a permanent court made in 2002 to prosecute people for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and the crime of aggression. The ICC is built on the ideas from Nuremberg, trying to make sure that people who commit terrible crimes are punished, no matter where they are in the world. The trials also help create a global focus on human rights. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted by the United Nations in 1948, shows the ideas of individual dignity and equality that were important at Nuremberg. The Nuremberg Trials remind us that justice is possible even after terrible things happen. They also show how important it is for countries to work together and follow the rule of law to prevent future atrocities. What we learn from Nuremberg is a call to protect human rights, hold people responsible for their actions, and try to make a more just and peaceful world.